Hey guys, I haven't done what's unique about this unique videos this year, so I thought it's about time, and I found a unique that I really like simply because it solves one of the more annoying things for me, clicking flask and also energy shield recharge or regen. So I'm gonna talk about this unique body armor called Reverie, which essentially makes your life flask permanent. And I want to talk about things that I tested that work and what don't work, and what cool combinations you can do. There's not gonna be much gameplay because it's not about the build, but I will later post a build guide, maybe not tomorrow, maybe the day after. So this body armor only works with 9 unique life flasks. You cannot use your life flask manually. It does have a negative of less life flask recovery. The minimum is 40% less. Obviously you want to get as low as possible. Another thing is your life flask recovery can only apply to you and not allies. Because there are some ways you can apply it to allies. For this you obviously want a life flask that recovers the most life per second, and the best modifier to get is the one that removes from mana, which doesn't matter because you're not actually using the flask. So this, for example, flask, almost perfect roll, recovers 728 life per second. There are many ways you can boost that, and there are other interactions that you can apply. For example, this belt, the last line, life recovery from flask also applies to energy shield. So you just rate up, essentially double your recovery. If you're a hybrid build, if you have some way to bypass energy shield, when you get hit you lose life and energy shield, not just energy shield. That way is the best way to kind of double your effective hit pool and double your recovery. However, this also has reduced flash life recovery rate, and currently I am sitting at 600 life regen and 600 ES regen. But I do have an anointment which does have 20% increased life recovery. The wording is actually, I'm not sure what is up with wording because I'm gonna show you one thing that doesn't work and it doesn't make sense to me. Basically it adds an extra 20% life recovery from flasks. I also have 2 jewels with extra life recovery from life flask. Now this one I tested just to see, you cannot use your life flask charges yourself, but you can still lose them and you can still gain them. So some builds may actually want this because things like that consume your flash charges, like you still benefit from them, but you don't need your charges for yourself because it's permanently applied to you. So maybe there are some interesting ideas that you want to use. I believe there was a quiver that consumed some of the life flash charges to get extra damage. There is another thing. I'm not sure if this wording is exactly the same as the other ones because this is increased flash life recovery rate rather than increased life recovery from flash. It's not rate. I'm not sure if that also works or not because it's not anointment. I cannot really test this. And also I believe this should work. 30% more recovery from flash. There are a lot more notes like that on the bottom right side of the tree because I'm on the top. You can stack this so much, and if you only need life and you don't need energy shield, if I just remove the belt, it goes up to 752. If I just put on this, which is extra 28%, 854. This is just kind of the beginning of what you can stack. There are a bunch of belts that have increased flash recovery rate. I believe there's a unique that gives like 50%. I think it's Rislata's coil, and then you can stack a bunch of nodes from the tree that increase flash life recovery rate, and then pick up this one. I wouldn't be surprised if you could get like over 2000 life regen per second permanently. I may actually want to try to build something around that. Oh, there is one thing that exists in the game but is not currently either active or for some reason it's, I don't know, maybe it shouldn't exist. Warding Rune of Nourishment. In the armor, 15% life recovery from flask also applies to Runic Ward. It does not exist. There are none in stock right now. There is a very expensive belt, 1.2 thousand Divine's belt. I saw in PoE Ninja that one player was using that. I think it's called Gnash. Yep. Life recovery from flask can overflow maximum life. And overflow, I believe, goes to 50% of your maximum life. This combined with the belt, and you essentially get 50% more maximum life for free. You do have 5% maximum life regen per second. That shouldn't really be an issue because you get permanent life regen from flask anyway. Only 5 on the market, so it's probably also very, very rare. More rare than Mage Blood. There are almost 1000 Mage Bloods, but only 5 of those Gnash belts. Now the annoyment that I have is this one. The second line, life less applied to you grant guard for 4 seconds equal to 8% of life recovery per second they apply. This does not work. It straight up does not do anything. Otherwise you would have pretty OP guard all the time. I have a list of other things that do not work. Okay, I'm gonna test it right now. With this, flash do not recover life. So if I were to use a skill that drains life, right. So, okay, tested now. This also blocks your life regen. Now this thing, I was hoping that it would work, but it would be absolutely broken if it did. I was hoping that the body armor says recovery from life loss cannot be instant, and recovery from life loss cannot be applied to anything other than you. But it says recovery. It doesn't say that the flask itself. I guess it's the same thing, and I thought maybe it's different, and maybe you could make your minions immortal by combining this with the body armor, but it does not work. Another thing, maybe let's start with this. This does not work, and I don't know why. When you add this to any persistent buff that is active, you're supposed to get 50% increased recovery from life loss while supported skill is active. The wording is a bit different, but it kind of means the same thing, and it does not work. So I have 601 right now. Let's say I throw this on blasphemy. I do lack spirit. Still 601. It still did not apply. And I don't know why. The wording sounds like it should, like it's the same wording as on like heavy drinker. Not exactly, but I don't know why it doesn't work. Is it functioning as it's supposed to, or is it broken? In Path of Exile 2, it's like 50-50. You never know, is it broken or is it functioning as supposed to? So yeah, again, let me know in the comments below if I missed something. Maybe there's some other cool interaction that I overlooked. And thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.